All right, my Bible in 365 family, I am terribly excited because we are about to start on a venture through the book of John. Now, the gospel according to John is an incredible story, and it is one written by the disciple who actually lived the longest. As a matter of fact, John lived to the ripe old age of somewhere in his mid-90s, and he actually wrote the book of Revelation somewhere around 92. Now, of course, when he wrote the Gospel of John, it was before 70 AD, and we know that it was before 70 AD because John refers to the fish gate in the present tense, which is indicative of the fact that this was being written prior to that time, because in 70 AD is when that gate was destroyed, when Titus came in and destroyed the temple, and so on and so forth. So that's how we established the dating of John. But John's book starts with a very interesting phrase in the Greek language, and it says, "En arche hologos, kai hologos, and prosontheo, kai otheos in hologos." Now that means in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so I want you to understand what was going on here. John witnessed the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. John was the guy who witnessed all that Christ had done, was in his ministry, watched him ascend into heaven, saw the day of Pentecost, saw everything that was going on, and was beginning to watch a group of people who were Gentiles, who were forsaking the true and living God, Jesus, and looking to other gods. So John brings in the term theos, referring to God, telling everybody that Jesus is the true and living God. And later on in verse 14, he says of chapter 1, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us." In other words, I'm about to tell you a story of how Jesus changed our lives when he stayed with us. Now, if you know friends that don't know the Lord, this is a phenomenal book to go through with them. And I always advise any Christian who wants to preach the gospel or evangelize more to go through the Gospel of John, because the gospel according to John will equip you with almost literally everything that you need to be able to speak concerning the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ and the amazing story of what Christ had done. By the way, an overwhelming majority of this gospel spends time in the last few weeks of Jesus's life, and it's a pretty powerful thing because what he says, knowing that he is nearing the end, brings to us some of the most powerful words you will ever hear, and you will be blown away. By the way, when you get near the end of John, you will learn some things about the special Passover. Actually, you learn about that in Matthew as well, but some significant aspects of this that you will learn when you talk about the Sabbath and how there were 2 Sabbaths during that time, and the instruction that John gives us in teaching us about some of these things. You are going to be blown away. It's going to be awesome. Your life is going to be changed. And this is a great book to learn so much about Jewish tradition that is related or necessary or pertinent to the story of Christ. Because remember, John is educating Gentiles on things that they have no familiarity with, and you're going to be blown away because you're going to learn a lot about it. It's great. You might see a devotion or two coming your way for this book. You're going to love it. We may even spend a lot of time talking about that very first verse that I quoted to you, because there is some very significant linguistic issues that exist there that might be beneficial for you to learn. It's great stuff. As usual, please go to CalvaryChapelSignalHill.com. You can find my full teaching through the Gospel of John. You can also go online on our YouTube channel, Calvary Chapel Signal Hill, or you can now start following me on Locals, where I have some information, that extra information that we provide there. Everything is free. Locals is a support page, but if you want to go to CalvaryChapelSignalHill.com, every Bible study I've taught is there. It's free. It's available to you. We love you guys. Keep fighting the good fight. And let me tell you something. You are in the 4th month, actually approaching the 5th month now, of reading the Bible. And I can tell you, if it's getting harder, you should really be thankful to the Lord, because this is spiritual warfare and the enemy wants to stop you from reading. But keep on going, because God will be your strength and you will be enriched by the time you get to the end of the year. God bless you guys. We love you. Keep fighting the good fight and enjoy the Gospel of John.